This, I don't know, this might be the baby of the babies.
The man-child?
Do that. It's pretty hot for a Kona blanket though. I do gotta say it's pretty hot for a Kona blanket.
What's going on, guys? It is Uncle Nick here and I'm sitting here with Brian. Like I said, it is going to be a part 2 video and this is part 2 of the Colorado trip recap. So, Brian, basically, what was your favorite, least favorite, best thing, whatever stood out to you the most about our trip to Colorado?
I don't know. I definitely say that probably my favorite, at least training perspective time was when we were all outside on the second workout that we did, Brian, and Brian was working the press medley, and then you, Andy, and I were all doing the circus dumbbell, so we were all kind of taking turns. And you and I got a chance to do the Thomas inch dumbbell, which I didn't realize how big of a deal the Thomas inch dumbbell was.
Yeah, neither did I.
Until like all the history and everything that Brian started talking about, Andy started talking about. Andy's touched upon it briefly, but much like the blobs, like it's just different when you actually get to see them and you're touching them, playing with them and stuff. So I would say getting to press that, not as much for me, because to me I was just looking at like 167, 162, something.
176.
176. There you go. Way to go, dyslexia. But yeah, like it wasn't a heavy dumbbell, but it seemed like such a big deal to them, and those guys were like, I actually got nervous. Yeah. Before I went, typically at like 176. I mean, I had to be focused because that's a serious weight, but it's not like a weight that I'm worried about missing virtually ever.
It's a different rack position too. It really bunches you up.
100%. Dude, that was substantially different. But Andy was actually kind of in my head. Because beforehand, Andy's coming up like, this is a really big deal. Like, you know how big of a deal this is. He's like, I'm not trying to jinx you, this is a really big deal. And so then I was like, well, he's like, there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to press it. He's like, it'd just be good for you to press on your first try. And I was like, well.
We both got a first try.
We did.
Yep. Like I said on Andy's video, I didn't get it recorded.
We're not completely sure what happened. Maybe that's the low point, because I think I must have been the one, like with the camera.
I was so focused on the dumbbell, I wasn't even paying attention to you had a camera at that point.
So much goes on, especially when you and I, because like Brian has James, who is a separate camera guy who records everything, kind of does the editing. Brian can talk about the process, and then the video gets put out. But for Nick and I, it's always either ourselves with a tripod or one of us grabbing the other. And a lot of times you get done a set, and for something like that, like in front of 4 times world's strongest man, you just hit a Thomas inch dumbbell clean and press. Yep. Like, it's a massive deal. And I was hyped up because Brian was hyped up, Andy's hyped up, you're hyped up, and I'm like, all right, Nick's gonna go. And I can't remember, because you're in a different mindset, you know? Yeah. That's why sometimes you guys get videos from us, and it looks like we just have Parkinson's, and it's because we literally just got done like a heavy set. You're either exhausted, or you're excited, or you're mad, and you're trying to hold the camera for that, dude, and you're just shaking.
The only thing I remember is your and Andy's cues. When, like, that's all I remember.
But I do wish that you had that video. Yeah. It just means we have to go back to Colorado.
Yeah, and do it again.
And do it again. But I also really enjoyed, I know you guys are gonna see some of the footage of the natural stones, and you actually have more footage of me doing natural stones than I have me doing natural stones, but that was totally cool. It was just a completely different feeling, because each rep was completely different, because your balance points were different, your grip points were different. So every stone that you went to, you couldn't just grab it and kind of heave it. Like
you had to learn every single stone because it's a different shape.
And so it was like a logic puzzle.
Yeah, it's not like walking up to an Atlas stone. It's pretty much textbook. Every single Atlas stone, they just get a little bit bigger. Right. Each natural stone requires a different hand placement because they're different balance, they're different shape.
And even if you place your hands correctly, like there was one point where before, I'm sure you showed, or at least they'll see it on my channel or whatever, but when I threw that stone, before I went, I was actually trying to like conceptualize in my head, like, okay, if I stick my hands like this when I roll up, this bump when it's gonna hit my forearm there, I'm not gonna be able to like finish there. So it was like different, like I loved that. But I did just mention in one of my videos, I feel like stones in Maryland, really the East Coast in general, are just pointier.
They're sharp, like super jagged.
Like the East Coast is very humid and very pointy.
We have
it is.
We have a pointy steak.
We do. Even a shape point.
I mean, our steak's really jagged.
Yeah.
Like all the stones down there, we were down there. We have a big burn pile down there in the field, and there's a bunch of natural stones, but every one of them has like 5 or 6 razor edges on them.
Yeah, like if you roll 200-300 pounds onto your shoulder at a point, you're gonna have a hole in your shoulder, right? So out there, they had the stones, and it was also cool because like we have a couple pieces here from like Mike Jenkins, some of his old equipment and stuff like that, and some stuff that like some world champions had left us and things. So that's really cool. But to actually be there at his house, because like last year at the Arnold, we were at the Arnold with him, kind of helping him out with stuff, and the exact stones that he was training for the natural stone shoulder are sitting out in front of his house. And I'm like, hey, can I play with those? And I got to do that. It was just like a surreal, you know what I mean? And it doesn't seem surreal at all because Brian's such a natural, easygoing, cool guy. But there were times where you'd stop and be like, you know how many people would literally kill for this opportunity? And we're sitting here going, oh, this is stupid. I don't have, you know what I mean? Like, so it's tough to pick out like a super high point or a super low point, but I will say it was really cool because every single workout we did things that we never do. Like we touched every single day. We were on a piece of equipment for a made movement, for our assistant movement that we do not have here. And we have almost everything. You know what I mean? As far as strongman goes.
The reverse glute ham raise, which I didn't even know existed.
No.
I didn't even know that was a thing, but it was really cool.
Yes. That whole line of equipment.
Belt squat.
The belt squat was awesome. The back attack was the back attack made my back feel different than I've ever felt.
I couldn't stand up straight.
There was just so many, it was so much good stuff that came out of the weekend, man. I can't really say enough good.
Yeah, overall, like the tempo and everything about that week was just up here. Yeah. Everything except for the kind of shit show with the competition, which you guys have probably heard numerous times now. But outside of that, even with that and during that, we still had a good time.
Yeah.
With that group of people, it just meshed really well.
Yeah, and I'll say even about the competition, like, of course, with all competitions, with everything, there's always things that are going to change, and I'm sure now, looking at it, some things would have been done differently and stuff, but a really good thing is that you guys both got jacked pretty good in the head, and you kept your attitudes up, you're still talking to people, still encouraging people, you guys were trying to yell, you couldn't really yell, it's tough to scream a lot with a concussion, tends to give you a terrible headache, but yeah, man, I had such a blast. I had a great time with you and Andy, and of course, huge thank you to both of you guys. And Nick drove us around everywhere. Like,
it was a brand new Suburban. He rented us a brand new Suburban, and I had to figure out how to start it because I'd never driven a vehicle that was a push to start.
You had a backup camera first time?
Had a backup camera, which is like foreign to me because I'm used to driving trucks and trailers, and I have to rely on my mirrors. I know how to drive with mirrors, so like looking down and to the right with a backup camera is just like trying to learn a new language.
But it was cool, man. The entire week, I mean, there's really nothing that I can say bad about it, to be honest.
Yeah, it was an awesome all-around week, great experience, something that I think all of us will remember and kind of cherish for the rest of our lives.
I just thought of something that I mentioned on the video I just recorded, but the podcast we did. We got to be on Brian Shaw's very first podcast ever.
Very first.
And it was an excellent, I obviously don't know because I haven't heard it, but when we were having that conversation, everything was just kind of clicking, everything was flowing, so I think that was one of the high points too, because it was a huge kind of confirmation of our mindset, because it was literally the same exact stuff that was coming out of his mouth, the same stuff comes out of our mouths. You know what I mean?
It just kind of reinforced and showed how we all kind of mesh and kind of vibe on the same frequency.
Absolutely.
It's good to have and it's hard to find.
Very hard to find. So when we go back to Colorado, man, let's go tomorrow. I'm ready.
But thank you for doing this video with me.
Oh, sure, man.
Thank you for, big thanks to you and Andy for making that an opportunity for me and all of us. And, you know,
and of course, thanks to Brian and Carrie and Kellen, Braxton, and Lance and everybody.
Yeah, like I said, they were awesome hosts, super hospitable, made sure we constantly had what we needed, fed, whatever it was. Carrie and Brian were always on top of the game and just being extremely generous. So,
absolutely.
Thank you guys.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So that was part 2 of 2 of the Colorado recap. I hope that brings you kind of up to speed and brings some light on how good of an experience that was for us. And I hope we were able to convey that for you, because I just feel like it doesn't do it justice. And I'm just trying to bring you guys in on that as best as I can. So thank you guys for tuning in on all of this stuff. I really appreciate it. I hope you found this stuff as interesting and fun as we did. I tried to convey it as best as I could to you to make it entertaining for you guys. But until the next time, you guys know what the deal is. Get out there, get after it, and embrace the suck.